going on, y'all? It is your resident social media therapist, Demetra Corlew, and I'm back with another episode of the Redirect Podcast. What's the redirect? Y'all already know because I know y'all been watching. So it's a podcast doing what it is that I love, and that is helping people to detect, disrupt, and dismantle negative thinking mindsets, patterns, and behaviors. And I do that by shining light, showing love, and sharing resources. And on today, oh my goodness, y'all. On today, I have my cousin that's coming on to the podcast with me. Now, I know. Let me take my glasses off because I'm like, make sure I don't get teary eyed or nothing because it's been a minute since I've seen her. But y'all ever have those people in your life that y'all may not be biologically related, but they like your cousin, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, whatever else. I'm telling y'all, she is like my first cousin, y'all. This is my cousin, okay? This is my first cousin. And even though we may not get to speak to each other all the time, when we do get together, we didn't miss no time. We pick up where we left off and we keep that thing going. So with that being said, welcome my first cousin to the Redirect Podcast, y'all, Miss Shataun Jones.
Thank you.
Now I know you got a whole professional career and things, but I just had to let the people know this is my cousin right here.
You got my spirit just so tickled, and oh my gosh, the same thing. I should have put on some waterproof mascara is what I should have done. But yes, I'm so excited, and we don't get a chance to talk often with the busy schedules. But you know what? When we do, I absolutely love it. And yes, I'm like sisters, first cousins, sisters. That's us. So I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah.
You still looking beautiful. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm just spiritually driven. So I know this is a confirmation sign from me, from God. So I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. I'm telling y'all, even when we text each other, we be like cousin.
Yeah, to the point.
Cousin. So on this episode here, I'm gonna look down at my title. Well, it's not even my title because Shatan sent me this, and I'm like, oh yes, like let's deep dive into that. And it's embracing my calling while answering my purpose and how that impacts our mental health. And I know that we all can relate to embracing the call of whatever it is that we're purposed to do and balancing that with our mental health and everything else it is that we do. So, first off, let's just jump in and let me ask you, Shatan, like, how did you even arrive to that for that to be our podcast episode?
Oh my goodness. First, I thought about it, trying to say, okay, how can I, just be a blessing to the audience out there? How can I give back? Then I'm like, okay, well, no, well, how creative can I be? What can I really talk about? And all of a sudden it says, Shatan, your current journey, your current mission, which you're currently going through right now. And so it just spoke just crystal clear to me. And what I feel like I'm going through, I feel like a lot of people go through, but they're often hidden by social media, and covering up, what they're really going through. And so I feel like that social media has been the uh, type of spirit that is, that really evokes a different type of personality out of us. And sometimes it can be hard to find or continue our authentic selves when we feel like we're on stage all the time. So it just spoke volumes. And I'm so excited. You know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Easy to remember that because May, mental health. And I do want to say that a lot of people have a stigma associated with mental health when really mental health is just nurturing your mind, body, and spirit. It's not necessarily that something is wrong or that you're on a medication, there's an illness, there's depression going on. Mental health should be talked about just more often, and it's okay to talk about it. So a part of this today is a part of my mental health and getting it out and talking and sharing my personal story.
Oh, that's so good. And thank you for mentioning that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. That's why I got my green shirt on and it says Grace Changes Everything.
I love it.
Um, because oh my goodness, we all need grace. We all need grace, and especially when we're dealing with mental health, because like you mentioned, like there's still a stigma to mental health in some regards. I feel like in some areas it's gotten a little bit better, but some diagnoses and things, there's still very much that stigma. Um, and in the midst of all of that, somebody who's walking that journey, they they're having to learn or relearn how to give themselves some grace in the midst of all that, but also to give other people grace, because everybody isn't as healed as other people, and sometimes those feelings, that word vomit, as I like to say, just kind of gets projected. And I mean, it does just like I always say to clients, like negativity is just like glitter, it gets on everything.
It does. It does. And I love that you said one thing. I feel like we're always becoming our best selves. We're always evolving. We're always trying to find our best selves and put that best foot forward. And I feel like that's where I am now. I've been in the healthcare industry for over 20 something years. I'm a registered nurse. Um, this is something I've been talking to my husband about over the last 90 days. I recently broke my lower tibia, my lower leg, slipped and fell randomly, trying to break. He's fall, but he's fine. But in this time, it's been a very still moment for me, very, very still, a time for me to really, really reflect, to say, who am I becoming? And that's a question we should always ask, that we never really arrive, but we're always every single day becoming our best selves. And I know that at the age of 2, my dad said, Tom, you want to be a nurse, don't you? I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then later on in class, I remember writing about wanting to be a nurse. And so I have been, in this circle, like a box, thinking that my gift that God has given me, my calling, is only for the clinical setting. But I'm realizing that being a nurse is not just for the corporate sector, it's not just for the clinical sector, it is whatever God has appointed you to be at that time. So sometimes we can get so wrapped up into our calling, we forget our purpose. And so I am in the phase of my life now to where I've been so wrapped up in my calling that I feel a tug. God saying, it's time to look over here, time to look over there. How can you be a blessing in different ways other than that clinical platform? So I'm so excited that I've had some time to really reflect on some things, especially over the last 90 days. I've been on some vacation, spending time with my family, traveling, and just really, really thinking to say, God, I know this is my gift, this is my calling, but now I'm trying to find out more about my purpose, and just trying to take time to listen and to reflect and say, God, what are you telling me? What are we trying to say? Or whoever your higher power is, just connecting and having that a long time has been so monumental. It's caused me some tears. It's caused me some exhaustion, especially when we're on social media, looking at other people's progress and trying not to compare it to my progress. So that's where I am right now. That's my journey right now, just discovering purpose all over again.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because you mentioned about reflecting. What did that process look like for you?
Mm,
Like, what does that reflection time look like? What do you do in the midst of that?
mm, mm. It is very, very powerful. And I'm currently going through it now. I'm still reflecting back, because that's a part of my growth. And it has involved tears. It's involved headaches. It's involved me understanding that, hey, I might be the strong one, but I too need help. I too need someone to talk to. I too need a break. It's been some going back and forth, tugging with myself, looking at mishaps, past experiences, but it's made me who I am today. So just taking a look at, what's ahead of me, just even reflecting, on where I am today and how I can, propel forward quickly, but at the same time patiently and with grace. When I tell you, it's just been a phenomenal, moment, and it's okay to have the tears. That's our cleansing process. It's okay. And then pick up, and then we move on. And so I tell you what, I had a private, intimate setting with Phyllis Newhouse, very well known. And I love what she said. She said, at some point in time, we have to stop licking our wounds. We have to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. We have to take accountability for who we are, and also what we're trying to do, because we can be so stuck in our right now that it paralyzes our faith in moving forward. So just reflection has really been, it's been challenging, but it's been happy. And it's also, uncovering and finding that purpose to say, hey, I'm here. God, where do you need me? Where do you need me to serve? So that's what the reflection has process has been like for me.
Oh my goodness, you said so many things in there that I'm like, oh man, I need to be taking some notes. I'm gonna have to watch the replay. So I keep taking in my book with all of my notes. Just the willingness, the surrender there, but also too, you had mentioned, and I'm gonna kind of paraphrase, essentially like we have to understand and be accountable for our now as we propel to our next. And so in your reflection process, as you acknowledge the now to prepare for the next, what were some of the life lessons that you learned that kind of bubbled up in that reflection time?
Woo, that is huge. That is huge. In that, I will have to say, becoming. Michelle Obama had, her book that came out and how she's evolved over time, how she has arrived, but continuing to
Mhm.
press forward as well. And that is such a good one. I tell you that it has just been a process for me that has just been, I want to say, emotional but happy at the same time, because I told my husband tonight, it's like I'm unzipping a skin, like how a snake sheds its skin, and stepping out to say, okay, where are we today? And yes, I have my grandmother that raised me, her principles, her values, my mom that raised me, her principal values. And sometimes we can get caught into, well, my grandmama said, well, my mom said, well, I went to school. But just take a minute and stop to say, who are you? Take a minute to stop to say, hey, who are you becoming? Who am I? And it sounds so just broad, but it's so very important. And I tell you why. Sometimes we can see someone on social media. And I say that because we know that, over half of the time, a lot of our time is in the social media. But sometimes we can look at other people's process and say, oh, I want that. And we begin to pray for things that we see, not realizing what that person has gone through to get there or what they're
Mhm.
currently going through. So when we start beginning to manifest what we're praying for based off what we see, we can't figure out what's going on. Well, I don't know why this. I don't know why that. I thought I prayed for this. But see, now we're taking a look at how they're walking through their shoes, which was not designed for me. That path was not for me. So I have to be very, very careful when I'm becoming to be true to myself, to say, it's okay to be wrong. I love to be right. Let me just tell you right now. I was the first African American head field commander of my high school, and the high school is over 100 years old. So I love, I'm very, very competitive. I don't like to be wrong, but guess what? In this process, I have to admit that I'm not right. And then to vocalize it to whomever I'm talking to, I apologize. I'm understanding now. I'm listening. It's one thing to receive education and to understand, to say, okay, I get it. But when you truly start walking in that, you begin to get a different response from the people that you're communicating with. And so I'm just truly trying to reflect on my principles, my values, things that to say, well, who am I? We know mama said this. We know grandmama said that. We know you learned this in school, but let's stop for a minute. Let's just chill. Let's just have some quiet time. Let's just say I'm human. I don't have it all put together. I'm not perfect behind the photos, and it's okay. I cry like everybody else do, you know, and it comes to a point that I just have to pause and say enough is enough. That I'm about to get my doctorate, should have some updates, any minute now, any hour now. So it's under, review. But all that being said, that, I have to be careful not to let your titles define who we are. I have to know that my gift, my spirit being me, I define who I am, not these degrees. So it doesn't matter what education looks like. It comes to a time I have to stop and make sacrifices to know who I am and to give back to my family and my community.
Oh my goodness, that mm, I'm still chewing it and processing what what you said, because point A, the comparison. Oh
Mm.
my goodness, you're right, because for the most part, the world is very much connected into social media and other outlets, TV, radio, all that good stuff. I'm just going to lump it all there together. And there is just lots of opportunity to compare your journey to somebody else's journey, even though they are not the same, nor are they designed to be the same. And just looking like, oh, well, I should be further along than I am, or this person is doing that. Why am I not elevating at the same rate as this person is elevating? And I made a Facebook live about that and used the analogy of, okay, of an airport. And when you board planes on the airport, in the airport, I should say, that multiple people are boarding planes all at the same time, but everybody's not going to take flight at the same time.
Mm, right there. Right there. Mm.
I
That
mean,
that part. My God. I
yeah.
that's that is that's definitely it. And you know that, and I go back to, my spiritual side, to know that we often get in our own way, and we have not because we ask not. And so sometimes we get, like we said, we get caught up in other people's journey, that we forget that God has created us. God has created a special path for us, and
Mhm.
he's already been there and back where we want to be, where we're trying to get to be. And we have to remember that his no doesn't mean no, or that I'm a failure means not right now, or I have something greater, I have something better, or I have something, a greater calling for you to be able to bless somebody else in this area over here. So it's okay. And sometimes it, and that part right there too, getting caught up into social media, what other people are doing, can also be mentally exhausting, to where the point of, we have young kids committing suicide because of what they've seen, over the internet, or we had, couples breaking up because of the internet, friends attacking one another because of the internet. But we have to stay true to who we are, versus trying to look at what's going on out there. So instead of being, in the world, of the world, that's where we got to be.
Mhm. So let me let me ask just a tad bit of a deeper layer to what you have already unlayered, which is so good. And just ask, so who would you say you are becoming?
Oh my God. That's a very, very powerful person. I am becoming a person, definitely of humility, um, definitely walking in my accountability. It's one thing to tell other people, oh, this is what I believe in, but are you truly walking in that? Also, just getting someone to talk to let my feelings out, other than my family. Because sometimes we're letting out emotions on them, that they're like, I don't know what to do with all that. I can pray for you, but then they may, personalize it for themselves. So it's okay, to reach out. So I'm in the process of becoming a woman that has humility, a woman that is trying to understand when she's wrong and admit that.
Mhm.
I like to be right and first, and that's not always, a good thing. I'm understanding to be patient. I'm one. My brain goes so fast, so fast. So I'm trying to really, really, I've been through some things, but now God said, okay, you've been through this. I've added a layer of patience because you've been through this. Now I want to see you just walk through that. And I'm becoming more grateful. Get out of my own way. Look at someone else sometimes. Love on your children. I can be right in my home and not enjoying my family. I'm there, I'm existing, but I'm not living. And I need to
Mhm.
live. I've been so caught up into trying to achieve this level, achieve that level. But what about me? What about nurturing me? What about nurturing my family? I've nurtured so many families for over 20 plus years, literally sweat, blood, tears, getting in the bed with them, and not even realizing my family needs me too. My family needs to be nursed too. And before you know it, they're out the house. So I'm trying to slow down, and find gratitude. That's who I'm becoming, a woman of gratitude and humility. Mm-hmm.
Ah, that is that's awesome. That's awesome because I know lots of people can relate to being grateful and slowing down, just being present in the precious present, and taking off what I like to call the badge of busyness. Because I'll be the first to admit, like, yes, honey, I can wear that badge out. I can. Like, plate be so full, stuff be spilling over, and I'm still adding stuff to the plate. Like, oh, it's okay. I can just make a little more room, scoot this over. But, but yes, but I'm like, but the busyness comes at a cost, and
That
sometimes it's not worth the cost.
speaking of that, what you just said, stress will kill you.
Mhm.
Medically, physiology, stress will kill you. I have worked with nurses where I'm waiting to jump on a call. It has activated other things in their body that maybe has been lying dormant, or maybe they already have existing conditions and the hormones, everything just took wiped them out. And so let me say this is an interesting fact too. So research shows that the more you are grateful, when you start being grateful, it literally has a powerful and positive impact on the body. So just waking up and saying, I'm grateful, and trying to reverse the mindset from negative to the positive, you actually decrease your blood pressure. It actually lowers stress by taking away those stress hormones, cortisol. So it will help you, those who like having trouble maybe with weight loss. It just helps put more of the happy endorphins and dopamine back into the bloodstream. So it is, research shows that being grateful will help heal your body at the same time. Ain't that amazing?
That is absolutely amazing. I hope you know I'm finna be broadcasting. That's gonna be a post. I'm gonna make a whole group on that.
Yes, literally, seriously, yeah, yeah. So just by being safe, just thank you. I just thank you for being alive. And I told my husband sometime he'll be talking to me and I'll be looking almost through him. And in that moment, I'm thinking, thank you, God, for allowing me to have been born, to be on this earth, to have this experience right now. And then all of a sudden, what he'll say, I'll tune back in. But I'm in that moment. That's a part of my becoming. Just saying, God, just thank you. Because I didn't have to be born. Like when you really just sit and think about it, I have my psych degree, natural science with a lot of chemistry and biology. So when you really just sit and think, you're like,
Mhm.
I can't believe I'm actually here. And I've been born. I'm blessed to have been born to interact with people and to have a chance to make a difference and to breathe. That's a powerful thing in its own. Mm.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. And I'm so glad that you brought up that research about gratefulness, because I think uh sometimes that we feel as though, oh, like that's something small, being
Mm.
grateful, that's something small, and we don't put as much value on that. But you just said it right there, like, oh my goodness, there is so much value in just being grateful, and that don't cost you anything.
Nothing. You don't even have to get up off the couch to be grateful.
Like,
From
yes.
thank you for my,
Oh.
I can just get up and walk. Thank you for my legs. When so many people don't have that opportunity. So I just need to be thankful for right now. Instead of trying to reach for this, get that degree, get this job over here. Just be thankful in your moment that you are here, that you are, you are
Hmm.
this, and you have an opportunity to get up tomorrow and start all over again to become whoever and whatever you want. So that's just enough to just say thank you. I'm here. Fresh air. Walk outside. Walk outside with your shoes off in the grass. Research shows that helps release stress too. Walking outside in the grass,
Yes.
which I love research and all that kind of stuff. But just enjoying the moment.
Yeah, you better come through with the data. Yes, ma'am. Come through with the data. I'm like, oh yeah, now I got to walk outside. I don't know. I get a little sketchy because I don't like worms.
I don't either. I don't need worms. I don't like spiders. But just if you can, just sometime if someone is feeling tense, upset, I'm frustrated about that email, literally take your shoes off. Go walk
Yeah.
outside in the grass barefoot. I go in my backyard, so I don't want the neighbors. Well, that's not story for another day. But I go in my backyard. 5 minutes, and before you know it, you come back in. So it does something to your to the bottom of your feet. Some people go and get therapy and things like that. So whole nother ball game for another day.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. So before I let you go, because I hate to wrap us up, because I'm like, oh, this is so good. We're gonna have to do it like a part 2 to this. But before I let you go, I got a little game
Okay.
that I call What's the Move? So I'm telling you, subject matter expert already. You got this. So here we go.
Okay.
What's the move? Watching a sunset or a
Mm.
sunrise?
Ooh, definitely sunset. Definitely sunset. Yeah, yeah. That puts me in a whole different vibe. I'm a Scorpio, so I love when the sun begins to set and just kind of, yeah, take a deep breath. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, okay. Now, second one is a full body massage or a facial.
Ooh, definitely a facial. I'm funny about the full body massage, although it feels ugly. But then I get strange and I get all funny. I'm like my doctor said type A. I don't even know what all that is, but I get real funny with all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to find what is it, potion, fountain of youth or something. Whatever will work.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like both. Now I will say though, I recently got a facial about 2.5 weeks ago now, about 2.5, 3 weeks. And I'm gonna tell you, because I went in thinking I've had a facial before, but it's been a minute. Okay, I prefer a massage better. I'm telling you, I didn't think that woman could rub my face like that. I was in there snoring. I said, "This woman put me to sleep, rubbing on my face."
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I get it because you do fall asleep like, uh-oh, was that me? Uh-oh. And you
That was
catch yourself. But when I get my facials, you can't tell me. I don't know what it is about a facial. Okay, I can buy a purse and be fine with that. Okay, you know. And I like to pay decent price for good quality. Last me a long time. But that facial, I will leave that facial feeling brand new, feeling like a new buck. Feeling $100, $1,000. I feel like I put on a whole new outfit. I mean, it just does something to me. You can't tell me nothing. I get like this bougie attitude, all because I've had a facial. All because I've had a facial. You can't tell me nothing.
you a new woman. You a whole brand new woman.
Whole new attitude and all.
Last one. What's the move? A new house or a new car?
Woo. Okay. I definitely have to say a new house because my boys have grown so much. And when I bought my house, they were small babies. And so definitely grown. And that's another show for another day, visualizing what we want. So I'm visualizing this next house that we need to accommodate my boys and myself and have a little bit more space. So that's another podcast show, just visualizing that next thing that you want and attract that.
Yes. I look, I'm glad you already put the part 2 out there. But that is so important though. Because I was in a therapy session yesterday, and one of the pieces of homework, like several months ago, I gave this client was doing a vision board. And just having that visual representation of what it is that you would like to see. And oh my goodness, I don't think I even really knew at the time like how powerful that was going to be for that person. And then to be in session with them and they have began to see the manifestation of a lot of what they put on their board exactly how they put it on there.
That, that's it. That's another podcast. That might even podcast 3. That's a big one.
So it's so important. It's so important because I still have my vision board that I made even from 3 years ago that I'm still working. I'll add to, I'll make little notes on it and all kinds of things because it's like, yeah, you're right. Like we need to be able to see it. We need to write the vision, right? That's what the words say. Write the vision, make it plain. Yeah. I,
Speak it.
you got to keep it in front of you. So let me ask you this too before you go. Where can the people find you at? How can they connect with you, Shatan? Because I'm telling you, you got all these gems and rubies and sapphires and pearls.
I claim that. I claim that. Well, everyone can find me. My extra hangout spot is lovejones.one. So definitely that's where I show some of the highlights of my life, what I'm doing here and there. So I definitely welcome everyone to hop on over and say hey.
Well, y'all got it. It's on the screen. Connect with Shataun Jones. I'm telling y'all, my cousin has came and graced y'all with this good nuggets, these good gems, and I'm definitely gonna watch the replay so I can write these nuggets in my book of notes that I specifically have these nuggets in. So before y'all tune off, make sure you like, you share, you comment, you subscribe, all that good stuff. I love seeing all the social media engagement, all the messages and things that I receive just from being able to enjoy this time with us, even though um, we won't see you live. We're not seeing you live, but we know you go back and watch the replay and all that good stuff. And plus, we never know what it is that someone needs in that moment. But I'm a firm believer that everything that is shared, somebody needs it and they're going to receive it because it's being put out there now. So make sure y'all connect with us. And until next time, we catch you on the next Redirect podcast. We see y'all later.
Thank you.